I love this little meme. You show them Groove.ai and everybody loses their minds. I'm hoping you feel the same way as the Joker, because that's exactly what he said to me when I had him on a private demo yesterday. Shout out to Heath Ledger, the late Heath Ledger. All right, are you ready? Let's go. We are 1 hour and 10 minutes in. Do me a favor. Put a big number in the chat. The bigger the number, the more excited you are to see Groove.ai. And because we're going to be jumping in right now, the next half hour is going to be a full demonstration. I'll be looking over to my right to see if there's any questions, or I might just wait because my team is making a Q&A document. So if you have questions, my team's going to answer it. If they can't answer it, they're going to be putting it into a Google Doc, and I'm going to be doing it here. All right. I love this number here from Yurin Salim and Todd Zimkowski. Just a bunch of nines. You guys are excited, right? Enough talk. Do me a favor, guys. Put one more thing in the chat, because we took an hour and 10 minutes to get here. Put another comment in the chat for me if you feel you understand a little bit more about the chat, because I spoke to you about the Lenny problem, and let me know if that first hour was helpful for you to understand the deficiencies of AI and chat and why you're looking forward to this, all right? So let's move this presentation out of the way. So I'm gonna move that out of my way. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move this out of the way. This is my documents and everything, and we're going to slide in. And this is something I was working on yesterday, so let me get out of there. All right, and what I'm going to do, folks, is I'm going to do an empty cache and hard reload. Why? Because my developers were working on pushing a final version of this for me just before the webinar here. So let's see, if I right-click on this, I get an empty cache and hard reload. That should give me the latest version of the application. Okay, all right, all right. Let me see. I also have a document here from me, bear with me, that has a list of stuff that I want to go over. So I'm going to go through. This is basically my document of what I'm going to be showing you today, because I didn't want to miss anything here. All right, so I'm going to put this on my right, and let's go right through. So the first thing that it tells me to show you is that we have a settings panel, right? So we'll get to the boring stuff out of the way real quick. What does the settings panel allow you to do? Well, here's a drop down of all of the different services I was telling you about. You choose your service. Here we're using OpenAI. And when you choose that, you can choose GPT-4 or GPT 3.5. Folks, just so you know, I'm going to be using ChatGPT 3.5 instead of 4.0. Why? Well, because ChatGPT has more wisdom. 4.0 has more wisdom than 3.5. But with more wisdom means it has, whenever you use ChatGPT 4 over 3.5, it has a bigger brain to search, and its output is much slower. It goes bup, 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 bup. So if I ask it to write a blog post during this demo, it's going to write it very slow, because ChatGPT 4 is slower than 3.5. So we're going to use 3.5 for this. We also have something called presets. I'm going to get to that in just a minute. That you're going to absolutely love. There's nothing else in the market like this, and this is what's going to make us completely different. Also, to let you know, inside of here, you have different languages. By the time you get this, right now it has German, Portuguese, and Spanish. In September, we will have languages for, there'll be at least 15 different languages in there. What does that mean? Well, if we go to German, it means it's not the output. It changes the user interface to German. Okay, and then shoot. I hope I can figure out how to, let's see. I guess that's settings and voice. So I'm not gonna mess around with this anymore. Let me just see here. I might need, oh, here it is, right? And let's just go back to English, and you can see what just happened. So yes, you're gonna be able to use this, not for output. Yes, output, but also in multiple different languages: Spanish, Portuguese, German, French, many of the different Asian languages, Russian, you name it, okay? And so there'll be a little flag, and you change it. Check this out. You'll also be able to change to dark mode if you like. I'm gonna demo this in light mode, but you could change to dark mode. And you could also change the colors as well of the user interface. So we'll be talking about a white label later, but like for instance, if you want to change the entire user interface, you notice the logo changes and you'll be able to upload your own logo if you take our white label option. Let's just stay with the purple for now. So that is the settings. Now we're going to go back to the dashboard. The dashboard right now, again, folks, this is 3 weeks before you will actually get access to the software. So right now it's function over form, okay? But all of this is going to be where you're going to find your different projects, documents, and different things like that, okay? Next, we're going to talk about a knowledge base. You remember you saw me make that knowledge base for my chat widget? Well, you can do the same exact thing here with Groove. You'll create a knowledge base, all right? And we're going to call this one, I'm just going to call this funnels, right? This is all the information that I could find on what makes a good funnel, from headlines to copy to the different types of funnels, when to use different funnels, et cetera, all right? So we've got to build this knowledge base now. How do we do that? Well, by the time you get yours, hopefully, it'll have all of the different tabs that you're going to see here. You'll be able to upload, just paste a YouTube URL, or as many YouTube URLs as you want. You'll be able to put your website in, and it'll crawl your website for a sitemap. Put in a single page, drop an RSS feed, a JSON if you're technical, paste in text, upload a text file, a PDF, an audio file, put in a Q&A, and we're going to have something called a brand intake form that's going to be in our system. Basically, we're going to ask you 30 questions about your business, and we're going to create the knowledge base for you based on your answers. And once we have that, you will be able to write all the copy for your website with never having the Lenny problem, because it's all that information is going to be stored in a knowledge base. When you say, write me an email, write this, write me a customer support form, like everything will all be there, all right, with the brand intake form. I'm going to talk about the slider that goes from world knowledge to the knowledge base in just a minute. Let's go back to here. Okay, next you can paste in text and give it the name of that text, or even better, upload a file. As we said, you'll be able to upload an audio file and it'll transcribe it, a Word document, a PDF, a text file, etc., etc. Now, please note that for each text file, the maximum is 5 megabytes. For audio files, it'll be larger. What is 5 megabytes? What does that even mean? Well, we don't like to talk in terms of gigabytes and megabytes, just like Steve Jobs didn't like to talk in terms of pixels or memory or hard drive space. Steve Jobs liked to say things like 1,000 songs in your pocket. Oh, that makes sense. What do I care how many megabytes it is? Well, same thing here. The Bible is 4.2 megabytes. War and Peace, the raw text of War and Peace, is about 4.0 megabytes. So you could upload the raw text of the Bible anytime that you want. Anytime that you want, and then add another one. You could put 400 Bibles, 300 War and Peaces, 70 YouTube videos. It doesn't matter. You'll be able to create your own knowledge base of all of the information, and you'll be able to, as a lifetime member, create multiple unlimited number of knowledge bases. When we go live starting September 1st, if you don't back this program, spoiler alert, it's $897 or just 2 payments of $497 to get your lifetime. If you don't back it, you can buy it later at $99 a month with a lot of limitations. You'll only get 3 knowledge bases and 10 presets. Haven't gotten to the presets yet. And the $299 a month will give you 25 knowledge bases and 25 presets. And $499 gives you unlimited. The $99 one won't allow you to have any teams or collaborate. So if you want to collaborate, you have to go to the $299 version, or you can just knock it out of the way and just become a lifetime backer and pay $897 or 2 payments of $497, and you don't have to worry about making payments of $299 a month from now until eternity, okay? So you'll have unlimited knowledge bases as a backer. So what we're gonna do, just for an example, we're gonna go back to YouTube transcript. I'm gonna go to YouTube again. I'm gonna go to Groove.cm official. I'm going to load up that webinar. and I'm going to paste that into YouTube transcript. We don't need the timestamp, and we're going to click go. And our API is automatically going to do this. You're just going to put in a YouTube URL. But I'm doing it the old-fashioned way for right now, just to show you so you get an understanding of what's actually happening. I'm going to create a new document. I'm going to paste it, and I'm going to call this, just for this example, funnels webinar, right? So now that's done. And now I'm going to add that to my, let's see where I added that. There it is, the funnels webinar text. Now I could also drag it in or just select it. You're familiar with that. And there we go. We've just added a file to our knowledge base. It's indexing. I could add as many as I want. When I'm done with all of these, I would click a button that says index knowledge base, and I could have 30 different webinars that I could put in. Now I've created a knowledge base. Okay, so folks, that is how you can create a knowledge base. And now the knowledge base is based on what you favor. So when we go to write a blog post, it's going to be on this, not the world knowledge of the language model. It's going to be based on, maybe I did a podcast, or maybe I just got in front of a microphone and I said, here are the top 10 things I think you should do when creating a funnel. The first one is a headline. The importance of a headline, like, right, I just talk into a microphone for a minute. I drag it in here, create a knowledge base, and now say, write a blog post about this. Now write an email to promote the blog post, right? You follow? This allows you to separate yourself from the world knowledge of the language model, which may be biased. That's what I use the socialism example for. You may have an opinion on a completely different version, and you don't want it to say, some people feel that socialism, while others. No, you want a very specific set of information that it's going to repurpose for you. I hope that's making sense. If that makes sense, put a 1 in the chat, and now let's move on, and let's now talk about the hero of this, projects. We're going to create a new project. We're going to start from scratch. We're going to call this project Funnel Marketing. All right, I'm just making up a name, folks. It doesn't matter. I'm just giving an example. And this is something that you can right-click, and you'll be able to share with your team. So let's talk about the share settings. That's very important. We have 5 different ways that you can share. Number 1 is something we call admin. Admin means that you could give this project access to anybody on your team or anyone that you give an email address to. And no, they don't have to have a Groove.ai account. We'll talk about that at the end. Anybody could come in and work on the project based on the permissions that you give. Sort of like working on if you got invited to a Slack or a Trello account, right? There's going to be a basic free account that you could be invited to, but you can't create your own stuff. Now, if you give them admin, they can go into the project and they can delete things, add things, create content, remove content, etc. If you give them write permissions, so let's go in here. Actually, let me just go into the previous one because it had more content in there. If you give the user write permissions, okay, what they can do is they can come in and they can add some more information here, and they can change some of the information, add new information, but they can't delete any document here. They will not be able to delete because they have write permission but not admin. And if you give them read permission, well, then they can only collect the assets and go. They can't add any new prompts, and they can't even delete anything in here. They're read only. Very similar to a Google Doc, right? Read, or what we call write, or edit, right? Edit is what we should call it. In fact, I'm just going to change this. I have my own document here. I'm just going to change that from write to edit. That's actually what we're calling it. Okay? And then the final one has 2 parts, and that's what we call the client share settings. And the client share settings means that you don't want them to see any of the chats that you use to create their magic. And you don't want them to see all of the settings that you used. So it'll get rid of the settings, and it'll get rid of that, and now you will share this like a Google Doc to your users if you're an agency or on your team, and it's going to say swipe email number 1 for affiliate, swipe email number 2, swipe email number 3, registration page copy, pop-up copy, thank you page copy, follow-up series copy, etc., etc. And you'll have every single tab will be right here, and they could come in with this format and go directly into a Google Doc or an email and not get that problem that you had with ChatGPT. It keeps the format. And if you paste that into your email, you also get that where ChatGPT breaks. Okay, so that is the share settings. So we're going to go back into our new project called Funnel Marketing. Now, the first thing that I want you to notice is there are 3 panes going on from left to right. Okay, the first one is your settings. We're going to get to that in just a minute. The next one over here is your chat. So as you notice with ChatGPT, all of your, and I'm going to use this in quotes, new conversations. Ready? Watch. Boom. We just created Lenny, right? Every single time we start, we have no knowledge base. It's not tied into act like a direct response marketer. We got to start all over. Act with my typos like a direct blah, blah, blah. And you got to start all over again. You're going to have that Lenny problem. And where's the search here? You can't even search, right? So with ours, as I said, you're going to be able to search everything within here or even globally in your system with a global search outside. I'll just show you that, right? There's a global search. So you'll be able to find all your work or your work within this project, okay? And instead of your chats being here like this, well, they just work like tabs, like a Google document. You want to add a new chat? You simply do that. Just give it a name, right? And by the way, you don't even have to name it because it automatically gets named by our system. Or you could change it if you want. And look over here, guys. You've got your document editor right here. This has the ability for you to add pictures. We're going to have AI images that are going to be coming, not on the release, but very shortly after. You can make H1 or H2 tags, right? So it's perfect. It's got your SEO built in, including the output that you're going to be getting here as well, okay? You've got regular paragraph. You've got strike through, bold, italics. You can hyperlink words and then copy and paste it and put it right into your email. So this we're going to call final, right? And I'm just going to give some examples so you kind of understand what's going on. We're going to call this affiliate swipe 1, right? We'll call this affiliate swipe 2. Well, watch this. I'm just going to duplicate this document. Boom, right? And we're going to rename this affiliate swipe 2. All right, and let me just make one called bullets. Okay. Again, I'm just giving you some example of different ways that you could, let's just create one. We're just going to call this the scratch pad. Artie, if you're listening, I don't know if it does this. Yeah. Artie, if you're listening, let's have the ability to drag these things in place because you might want to start organizing the documents later, right? Because I might have realized, oops, I want to put an affiliate swipe 3, but it's all the way over here now and I want to drag it into this place. So my developers are watching this as well. All right. So you kind of get the way this works. I'm going to turn these presets on. This is very important over here. I'll explain that in a minute. The first thing that we're going to do, we're going to select our AI service. Whoops. Make sure that we have our AI service connected. We do. We're using OpenAI. I want to use my presets. Let's create a preset. Okay. So to create a preset, I click here, create new, and let's go and create a preset. Now, who do we want to act like? A direct response copywriter, an SEO blogger, etc. And when you look at them, for SEO bloggers, you get these different people here. So let me show you all of the different ones that you have. That would be here. You're going to be able, and it's all in those drop downs right now, but it's a little easier to see here. If you say direct response copywriter, all of these people will be in the drop down. If you say SEO expert, then you'll have Neil Patel, all these different SEO experts. Blogger, Neil Patel, Tim Ferriss, Gary Vaynerchuk, Seth Godin, Ariana Huffington, Perez Hilton. Press release writer, nonfiction author, article writer. You can write like an article writer or write like a news journalist, a technical writer, a content marketer, a social media manager, storyteller, fiction author, right? Stephen King, J.K. Rowling. You want to write in the style of Dr. Seuss? Great. Screenwriter. I want to write like Aaron Sorkin or Quentin Tarantino, or a biographer, legalese, a lawyer, medical, health expert. You have talk show host, academic writer, scientific writer, a YouTuber. You want to write like Mr. Beast, a podcaster, a playwright, et cetera, going down. Okay, so this, again, we're making a preset. Let's just choose, let's write like Dan Kennedy, okay? Who's your target audience? Well, there's a difference between target audience and an avatar, all right? Your target audience is your target market. It's the broad sense. I market to these people. Digital marketers. I'm sorry, I can't talk and type at the same time. Digital marketers is my target audience. Who's the avatar? All right, in this example, the avatar is, what is the subset of these digital marketers? Are they young? Do they want to drive Ferraris? Are they, are they technophobes, technophobes? Exactly, right? So what we're gonna do, right, let's say target market was golfers. Avatar might be beginner golfer with a slice problem, right? So avatar is, I'm gonna put Generation X, men and women, entrepreneurs, no typo help there, entrepreneurs, wow, one letter off and no help with the right click. Entrepreneurs, technophobes, and I think that's good. Now, I want to write to these folks in a 12th grade reading level. Here are the rules. Okay, the rules are always be polite. I'm just giving an example, right? Let me just give one here. Never mention ClickFunnels or Jasper.ai, right? I'm giving it rules that if I want to write an article on the top 10 things that makes a good funnel, I don't need the third one in the article saying, you might want to use software like Leadpages and ClickFunnels, right? So I'm giving it some rules. Custom editions, this is so that you guys never come up to me and say, hey, it'll be really cool if you could add this one more additional thing. Now there's, this is pretty much everything that you need here. So we're gonna save this, and now you see, I'm gonna give this a name, and I'm going to actually just save it with that avatar right there. Generation X Entrepreneur Technophobes. And so now that I'm back into my my project here, I'm going to select a preset, and we're going to write to Generation X Entrepreneur Technophobes as a direct response marketer. And look, forget it. If we just want to see what that is, I click the little I right here. As a direct response copywriter in the persona of Dan Kennedy at a 12th grade reading level to digital marketers with whatever rules that we had given it. All right, so now we see that. Now, folks, here, this is the beautiful part. What output do I want? Do I want the regular ChatGPT that you always get? Or do you want it to be a blog post? And notice, as soon as I went to a blog post, a few things happened. We get a framework of the most popular top 10 different types of ways to write a blog post. And I might say I want to include the blog title, the keywords, and the preview snippet. But also, I can change it from medium to long. But look what else we have. I could write an email, and look, it's changed. I have subject line. We're adding include a PS as well. You could do an outline, a headline, a subject line, right? If you need a subject line, you'll just paste in the email. Or, look at this. You can check for grammar, translate to any language, plagiarism, rewrite or respin the article. Maybe you want bullets. You want e-commerce sales copy, a short sales letter, a webinar sales outline, a long form sales letter, landing page copy, a video script, VSL video sales letter, a testimonial, product description, press release, article, social media post, speech, interview, story, FAQ, pay-per-click ad copy, Facebook ad copy, Facebook image ad copy, poll questions, survey questions, etc. Let's start with a blog post. Let's keep it short because this is a demo. Next, we're going to go with the framework. Let's go with a listicle. That means introduction, list item, explanation, conclusion. Let's do a how-to post. All right. Now, I want the blog title. I want the keywords. I want the preview snippet. Now, the tone. I can open up a little bit more. I want this engaging, conversational, casual, and humorous. Now, if I don't like that, I can just type in my own stuff right here, right? I can just simply type it the way I want. But those are good enough for me. Artie, it's got to remember those presets when you go from custom to back. Oh, it did here, but the other two, for some reason, where I said humorous and casual didn't save. Now, let's do the style. All right. The style, I want it to be, let's say, conversational and instructive. And the goal I want to be, for this, I'm writing a blog, so I want to do this for lead generation, boost engagement, improve brand reception, and that's enough for me there. I'll close this up here. Now, the output, this is what you just saw before, normal, or I want that what you see is what you get marked down. I want it to do all of the bold, all of the italics, et cetera, et cetera. Now, that wasn't working yesterday. It was just in the user interface. I don't think it made it today. We can try it. Now, Markdown without WYSIWYG is this. Like this. If you actually want the actual like Markdown code, you might, right? And we also allow you to have the output in code block. What is code block? Just to give you an example, write me a web page in HTML in code block. And you're getting this. That's code block, right? Just so you know, like if you wanted countdown timer script, you know, in JavaScript, etc. Okay? So that means that you don't even have to know those things exist. See, this is all the prompt engineering here is here for you folks. All of this will just go here. I'm just going to see if we get the Markdown and WYSIWYG. I don't think we will. I think it's just going to be normal. And then over here, this focus is actually supposed to be this. Again, remember, folks, you're not going to see this for 3 weeks. It's going to actually be like this right here. Default, direct response, SEO or creative. Direct response means it's not focused on keyword density. It's focused on conversion. Default means it's default ChatGPT. SEO means it has an understanding of keyword density rather than conversion. And creative is really good for storytelling, creating a book, a poem. And so this doesn't do anything to the prompt engineering. If you remember when I showed you as a developer, I have not only a system prompt and the prompt, etc. We also have these things called temperature and top P and frequency penalty and presence penalty. I'm not going to get into it because it doesn't make sense. How much to penalize new tokens based on whether they appear in the text so far, increasing the model's likelihood to talk about new topics. What? All I can tell you is that these settings need to be different for copywriting, creativity, default, or direct response. We built that in automatically for you when you are going to choose these different things down here, okay? Hours, instead of saying more creative, more balanced, more precise, we're changing that to default, direct response, SEO, or creative. And as you can see here, I even have notes for my team where the temperature settings and the top P needs to be depending on what they answered, all right? This is just some geeky information, but I want to let you know that's why you're going to get better results with us. Better results in your output means better click-through rates, better open rates, better opt-in rates, longer engagement, higher sales, better upsells, better cross-sells, and happier customers and customer support. You cannot put the amount of, I cannot stress the amount of that compounding effect, all right? So what I want you to see right here, guys, is that I don't have to put anything in other than the protein. I'm going to give you a metaphor here. This is your TV dinner. This is your taco mix. This is your seasoning kit. Right here in this example, I wouldn't write it. You just write chicken or beef or lamb or goat or tofu or eggplant. You simply put in your protein. In this example, this is just a metaphor. Over here, this is the difference between Kung Pao chicken and chicken franchise. All of the magic happens here. What makes a good chef? Knowing how to make a good recipe, which is your ingredients and the preparation. Well, what makes a good output in chat? Well, being a good prompt engineer. You can equate being a prompt engineer to being a chef. Being a good chef, you got to become like Gordon Ramsay. To be a good prompt engineer, you got to study prompt engineering. Not with Groove.ai. Groove.ai puts the chef right here. You simply say, do you want Kung Pao chicken? Or do you want chicken francaise in this example? Now here, what I mean by protein, I'm not going to write chicken, right? I don't have to say, write a blog post in this. I simply just say, about the protein, top 10 things that make a good funnel. Now, I'm going to get, right now, a blog post. Well, it's going to be written like a copywriter. I should really switch this to SEO, but you get the point, right? In the style of Dan Kennedy, at a 12th grade reading level, it's going to be written to digital marketers that are Generation X, which is my age, entrepreneurs, technophobes, et cetera, et cetera. It's going to be in a blog. It's going to be short. It's going to use a how-to post. It's going to include a title, keywords, a preview snippet with all of this stuff that I put in here. And we're going to go, and I got to turn the format on, and I want the presets on. We're going to talk about this in just a minute. Watch. This is the first time you're going to see this happen. Here we go. What did I get? A title, the top 10 elements that make a good funnel, unlocking the path to success. My keywords are here: funnel, marketing, conversion, sales, optimization, a preview snippet. Okay, what is a preview snippet? While that's working, we're going to go to groove.cm/blog. You see this preview snippet? This is the title. This is the preview snippet. Consider that like the subject line of your blog, right? And when you click on the blog, you're going to notice you don't find that here anymore. It's gone, right? That's just so that I could get you to see what this blog post is about. Because if we gave you the beginning of the blog, right? Sometimes you'll get a blog post that starts like, often in life, you may wonder. Well, that's not intriguing. What you really want is a preview snippet that says, in this blog, you will discover, right? So we do that. Preview snippet here is, you can see, discover, and it even knows, discover the essential elements that transform your sales funnel into a powerful, oh, now I want to click onto that blog. And now we've got our entire blog post written right here. I'm going to go into my draft. I'm going to remove this little welcome to content Copilot. I'm going to click here. And as I told you, this didn't make it. It'll be there when you get it. All the bold and everything will come in. And I just transfer everything over, right? Now I've got my blog. I've got my introduction. I might want to, maybe let's just make that a title tag like that, right? And then the introduction, might just get rid of the word introduction. And I might just make this an H1, for example. You guys, whoops. I didn't actually select that. H3, just like that, right? And so now you add your image, you're ready, and you're ready to go, and you share this with your team. But this is going to be one of the best things that we're going to have, guys, is you can highlight anything right here and right-click, right? And what we're going to do is something you don't want to do in the prompting. You want to do as you're reading, and you're like, you know what? It didn't give me enough information on this, or this is too complex. This needs to be simplified, or. You could do all of these things. Highlight and simply say rewrite. Fix grammar and punctuation. More like this. Expand on this. So more like this means it gives you another way to say it. Expand on this, expands on it. Make more concise, make it longer, simplify, create an outline, create talking points, give an example, create a metaphor. I'm always using that, right? An analogy, the Lenny situation, right? Imagine just being able to see something complex in your writing and say, relate this to a proverb, a maxim. An apple a day keeps the doctor away based on the text that you highlighted. Find a related allegory or parable. As Confucius would say, right? A wise man, etc., right? An allegory, we have that here. An aphorism or an adage, okay? So all of those you'll be able to simply, while you're in your document, just say, expand on this. This is too much jargon. Simplify this. You'll even have an opportunity to put a custom prompt in, like explain it to an 8-year-old, right? You can just literally write it like that. And all that different type of stuff. Let's just say let's just create another one here. I'm going to talk about a competitor here, just so that you could kind of understand. You know what? Let's not. We don't have to go to a competitor. Let's just say that we want to still use this here, but I want to change it to a blogger, and let's do it like Tim Ferriss. And I'm just going to click apply, not save, so I didn't have to create a whole new preset. I can slightly change it on the fly. I'm going to do a blog post. This time we're going to do listicle. I don't need any of this stuff for this point right here. I'll just click engaging, style, creative, and goal will be increase conversions, whatever. And I'm just going to now put right here, watch this. You guys all heard of the product called Trello. Let me see here. Trello. And again, I'm just a pro team. No prompt engineering needed. All right? So while that's writing, I want to now show you an example. I'm just going to open up like another one. Phil, same. That you could tell my mind while I'm talking and typing and so on. It's supposed to be final, right? So we got our blog post on Trello, right? But I'm going to click stop. Oh, it's done. Now look, I can click regenerate response or create an additional response. Now, guys, here's the key. Watch this. If I just say something right now, like, I thought Trello was for email. Now watch what's going to happen. It's writing a blog post. Why? Because we've hacked the system prompt and told it to, all of this information was put into the system prompt. But Jeeps, I just want to go into conversation mode with you for a second. Oh, I've got to shut off the format. I just want to be in a conversation. Now, see? I apologize for any confusion. It's wondering, like, it's even asking itself, why in the world did I say this? Trello is not primarily for email. But guess what, guys? It's still talking like Neil Patel to Generation X people. If I want to strip to straight ChatGPT, I can go here, and you're noticing it's changing up here as well, because these work together. So now it's not even talking to this person. If I just want to quickly go into ChatGPT mode, I can go here. But I want the format mode because I want the recipe, right? I don't want to go into chef mode. I want quick microwave mode. So watch what we can do here now. I can simply go to bullet points now. And I go to bullets, and I got my presets and my format back on. And I'm going to choose a framework for my bullet. I love the feature, advantage, benefit of the benefit framework. So I'm going to click on that, okay? I forgot my camera was on. I'm sitting here talking to you guys like this, and I'm like, oh, shoot, my camera's on. Get in performance mode, Mike, for crying out loud. I'm going to put right here, same thing, Trello. I don't have to even say write me bullets because I'm in format mode, and I'm talking to the right avatar. Trello. Look at this. I've got my my feature, advantage, benefit bullets. Now, to me, that's a little bit of a bug. In my, I don't think it made it in there that I gave the guys the prompt. It's supposed to allude to the feature, advantage, benefit framework, not say feature, advantage, benefit, but that's okay. You kind of get the point. Take a look at this. Boom. Send that over. And there we go. Now, you know what? I don't need more than these three. I kind of think that I want some new bullets. So what do? We change the framework. Let's get some pain and relief and just go more, right? Or create additional, or just say it again, Trello. And then when I'm done, I might, oh, the other thing that I can do, guys, let's just let this finish. I can highlight just what I want and hit move over or send all, okay? But let's just say I want just, let's just move them all over for now, right? And whatever, right? I want to get rid of these bullets. And let's try and go with, ooh, curiosity bullets. Give me 3 more. Right? And then when I'm done, give me 2 more in the teaser or the feature benefit or a click hammer, rational emotional, and more. It just keeps going on and on and on. Stats and facts. 50% of users that don't use project management software fail to reach deadlines, right? Upset their staff members, are lower rated on the team, etc., right? Guys, do you see how powerful this is going to be? Because you're going to be able to say, I want a little like this, a little bit like this. And then when you're done, you can simply take this blog post and go like this, open a new tab like this, and say, write me an email to promote this blog post, right? And then I put the blog post in there like that. Oh, Artie, this needs to expand. Artie, if you're watching, when I pasted, it didn't make this larger. It kept the input size like this, so I don't really see everything that's, I don't have more room to write, but you kind of get the thing here, folks, right? We'll get that fixed, right? 3 weeks out, early access beta doesn't come until September 5th. I want to change this email to an announcement about my blog or newsletter, right? And I'll do all the conversational stuff, etc. And now it's going to actually take that prompt and write an email promoting this blog. Folks, if you've noticed not once that I have to sit there going, act like a product, blah, 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 and all that different stuff. I can put a little more prompt engineering here if I need to, but for the most part, this is just protein. Okay, so let's see if I've missed anything here. Oh, I didn't even tell you. Remember the knowledge base before? Well, look at this. I can import a knowledge base if I want to work on that I've just created with all of that information. And then I got a dial here. Now, if I set it to 0, it's acting without the knowledge base. I've temporarily shut the knowledge base off, and you see it says world knowledge. If I slide it up to 100, it's 100% knowledge base. If I ask it how to bake a cake, it won't know how. If I move it to 50-50, it's using the knowledge base and its world knowledge. This leans towards the knowledge base. This leans heavier towards the world knowledge. Okay? So let's see. I'm just going to go through some things. I want to make sure I didn't forget anything. We've got, oh, check this out. You can take this and export as a PDF. We're also going to have export as HTML and a Word document as well, which I don't really see the need. You can just copy and paste and send it to a Word document, but we'll probably, export to your Google Doc and things like that. Rename, duplicate, delete, etc. Your presets, we went over that. We spoke about just adding the protein. There's no need to be a prompt engineering specialist. All of the formats and frameworks you saw here are dynamic for every single one of these 30 different things or so that you have here. We spoke about how you can optimize it for SEO, direct response, creativity, or default. We've spoke about how you can get your output to be in bold, and that can transfer over to your document. Spoke about how, like, if you just want to ask it a question, like, oh, I thought Ben Franklin was a president, and you want the response to be, no, he was a founding father. It's going to write it as an email. So if you want to go into straight just chat mode, and Artie, why don't we do this when they click this? Maybe we have it say chat mode, and then when they click back, it goes to format mode, something like that. Document editor, and folks, all right, I'm going to take a sip here. I'm a little parched. Probably look at my face. 2-hour mark, coming up to 3:30. That is Content Copilot. We're going to be taking all your questions in just a minute, but really, you can see the difference here, that you can work with a knowledge base. You can share with people on your team, share with a client, and your client can edit this if he wants, or you could say read only and give them all of the assets. This is called Content Copilot. We're going to be coming up with Content Autopilot after you season all this stuff, which you can't do with the others, and you're going to be able to go in and tick off all of the assets that you want. I want an email, a blog post, 7-day follow-up series, 5-day cart abandon, blah, 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 blah. You're going to tick everything off. It's going to say, come back in an hour. And when you come back in an hour, all 32 assets are going to be built in here for you, including soon building out your actual brand website and putting the copy in the brand website and making you a marketing funnel that you click a link and it imports the funnel with the copy and images into Groove Pages. That's coming. So you have Content Copilot I just showed you. We're going to do Content Autopilot, which is literally ticking off everything you want to build a campaign. And you know what you're going to do? You're going to charge your client $3,000 for this, and you're going to make them wait a week. Because if you give it back to him in 10 minutes or in 30 minutes that it takes for this to work in the background, he's going to say, hey, wait a second. I just paid you $3,000. Yeah, it's great stuff. Well, you can't possibly give me good information for 30 minutes, right? And it's the old thing. When the guy comes down, and the team has the entire assembly line has been broken for 3 days. There's no air conditioning. Everybody's sweating. They've lost $200,000 in production. And then one guy comes in, and they said, please, can you help us fix it? Please, I need you to fix it. I'm paying my workers. We haven't had any production for 3 days. Truckers are leaving. The train is stopped at the station. We can't fulfill any of our products. The guy comes in and goes, oh, here's the problem. And here's your bill, sir, $4,000. He goes, $4,000? All you did is turn a screw. And the guy's answer is, well, it's $10 to turn the screw. It's $3,900 to know what screw to turn, right? And so in that sense, to avoid that from your customers, saying to you, hey, you knocked this out, you might want to make them wait a week before you get the copy back to them. I'm making a joke. I'm saying like how powerful this is, that something that would take a month to produce to a client can be done at least in what we call the first, whoops, I clicked on the wrong thing. At least what we call the first draft mode, right? If you notice, there's not a save button here. Everything is instantly saved to the database as you type. Instantly saved like a Google Doc. So you can't lose any of your work.